I don't even remember what started the conversation, but it ended up with her issuing the challenge. Can I fill an entire album with layouts made only from scraps? Well, this collection of papers represent me trying to make number 28, the 28th page of the Scraps Only Challenge. And I have a variety of papers here, most of which I don't believe I'm going to end up using. So I'll walk through what I had thought about doing. So everything was sort of around this one sheet of paper as sort of my statement paper. And at first I put the pink with it, and I did like the combination. And the pink and the yellow together were exactly 12 inches when I put them together like this. I could get 12 inches exactly. And I thought about, okay, covering up the holes, and maybe with something like this to cover that. And I kind of like that. Then I had this piece of blue, and I said this would work with my photos. And then I looked at my paper again and I saw purplish colors. And I'm looking at my photos and I'm seeing purple in my photos and blues and aquas and some yellows. And so, and pink. And so all of that made me decide to go look again, especially when I saw the purple. So I said, let me see how much purple I have. The answer is very, very little. And also, I noticed that as I'm at layout number 28, I am getting fewer and fewer scraps of paper to choose from. So, one thing I looked at was making this paper vertical. And then I found this. This is pretty much the only purple in a large sheet of paper that's patterned that I have. And I like these two together, the yellow and the purple. So I said, okay, this looks really good. I even don't think I need to put anything covering the seam. So I said, okay, no to the pink. I found this strip of lavender that I could cover the seam with, but at the moment I don't want to do so. So I might punch something from this lavender and have it here. And my next thing is to see how my photos will lay. Now, the one thing I noticed about my photos is that there isn't a lot of room to uh, crop them, most of them much smaller. Not if I want to maintain the square ratio. And if I go away from the square ratio, I will end up with a variety of sizes of photos. And I really prefer to keep them in the uniform size. Now, this last one, I could see myself cutting it smaller, but at this time, I think it would be unnecessary. I like just shifting this photo up underneath that one. And so, with this layout, it's fast and easy, and I like it. Now, if I had the paper, I would probably mat these 4 photos in a block, and then also mat this photo as it is. But because I'm only using scraps, and I think all of these photos do well on this background paper, I don't see a need to have to put mats or anything underneath these papers. So I don't know how it can get any faster than this. It's basically the half and half design, or the vertical version of the happy horizontal. So this has been quite a wonderful journey of going through and using my scraps and getting them used and turned into layouts. And in case you're wondering what my plans after this challenge are, quite the simple answer is I'm going to continue. But I will not be restricted to making layouts only with refill pages as backgrounds. I'll continue, but I will probably put in some colored cardstock and some pattern paper backgrounds. And so now it really is just a matter of adhering my photos to the page. Maybe I'll do a little decoration after I get them on. Now, I doubt I would have come up with this on my own if I had not been doing this challenge. So I have to admit that I do not see myself coming up with this combination of patterns and even colors had it not been for this scraps only challenge. But I do like it. I do not want to put anything covering this seam. I think the two papers and the straight line go just fine together. Now, I think I'll put a border here. I'll punch the border, and this is a little greater than 6 inches. It looks to be 6 1/4 of an inch. I was thinking, do I want to extend it? And the answer is no, I don't. So I'm going to pull out one of my favorite punches, and I'm actually debating with myself right now, do I want to have a band and then put a chain punch of some kind over top of this? So my plan is to put a band here and a band there, the same band. So I'm going to cut it wide enough and then cut it off to put a band there and here. I'm going to make it out of these scraps, which made me think of this. As I wind down and only have a few more layouts to go with this scraps only challenge, what will come next? And I'm thinking that maybe I'll make borders with some of my scraps. And that way I can get more of the smaller and more irregular shaped borders onto layouts as well. So I think this should be enough to meet my needs. And I'm going to use the ribbon chain border maker cartridge. I may have to cut 2 of them with this paper. But I do love making embellishments with my scraps. And I know I'm not alone with that. So I'm going to I may make 2. So this is pretty much the design I'm going for with this. And this I think is plenty, especially considering I'm using up scraps. So now let me punch the second one. Now, I really don't have to punch this final one, but I will just to have it. So these are the pieces that are going to make up my border. I'm starting with this scrap, just the size it was, which was 2 1/8 inches. And this scrap, which is just 1 inch. And I'm going to put this piece flush with the right side because it's not long enough to go all the way down. And about 1/8 of an inch from the edge of the purple. Now I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to put this piece, which is a 1 1/4 inches, and I'm going to put it about 1/8 inch from the edge of the purple as well. And so I have these 2 pieces together. Now, before I put down my ribbon chain, I'm going to cut my paper because these 2 borders have ragged edges, and so it'll be easier to manage that layout in the size that I want them to be. And so one of them I want to be 6 1/4 inches. So at 6 1/4, I'm putting my flat side there at the 6 1/4. And then I want my second one to be 3. I'm going to let it go all the way to the edge of as far as it can. So I now have these 2 pieces. One will go at the bottom and one will go at the top. And next I'm going to put my ribbon chain on, and I want to cover the seam. And I think that's how I want it. Yes, I want it this way up. And then put this piece on and cover that seam. Now, if I had had full-sized pieces, I would not have needed to cut 2 different. There we go. Okay. And next I'm going to just trim off the excess part of the ribbon. And as simple as it is, I think it's very cute. And I think it's going to be really pretty on the page here. So that is pretty. And we'll put this one up here. And I really like it. I like that it used up a few more of those strips of scraps. And it brings the purple from there down to here. And now I think I'll look and see if there's any more decoration I want to put on. So to decorate my border spaces, I brought out my collections of my canary totally tonal stickers and purple ice totally tonal stickers. These came out around 2023 and they are just generic and very versatile. On each sticker collection, the shapes are basically the same, but the colors are different. Some of the words are different on some of the items, but I'm going to mix and match from both of these sticker sets to make an embellishment cluster here and one here. They're going to be small clusters, but I think I'll just sort of mix and match. And the thing with the canary is it does have a strong bent towards orange and not as much yellow as I would like, but I see plenty here that I can use. And so that's what I'm going to do to finish off these embellishment clusters. I'm using my borders here as the base of the clusters. I love doing that. So I don't have to worry about coming up with a base because this is going to serve that purpose. So I'm going to try to pick out about 3 items for each one of these spots. And that for me will be sufficient. I will not feel that I need to add more. Well, I'm pleased with how this turned out. I like my border here that was put together with scraps. I went into my Totally Tonals and I pulled out some stickers to make an embellishment cluster for this band and this band. And I have another finished layout and I'm very happy about that. I hope this video has inspired you and that you'll like the video, subscribe to the channel. And YouTube says there's another video you may enjoy, so I hope you'll watch it.